Caffeine is everywhere. I always thought that caffeine was something that was only in coffee or energy drinks, but it turns out we've been having caffeine all our lives. The 7 levels of caffeine addiction. Let's get into it. Level 1. Not realizing you're taking caffeine. Did you know chocolate has caffeine? Apparently, there's 43 milligrams of caffeine in 100 grams of dark chocolate. Now, I have no idea what those numbers mean, so I did some maths. I crunched the numbers, I carried the one over, and I found out that 2 normal-sized pieces of chocolate have the same amount of caffeine as a cup of coffee. Something else that I didn't realize had caffeine in it is tea. And yes, you might not be drinking an Earl Grey or an English breakfast in the morning, reading a newspaper, but you've probably had boba tea before, or iced tea from Dunkin' or Starbucks, or a matcha dessert. Those all have caffeine. So level 1 is for those who don't know or realize there's caffeine in the things they eat and drink, and just taking small amounts if it's offered. Level 2 of caffeine addiction is like that thing you only buy if it's on sale or if it's free. In the same way, I got to level 2 the first time I went to the gym, and the guy who ran the gym was offering pre-workout samples, and he offered me some, but I didn't really know what pre-workout was. I knew it was kind of like energy drinks, but I hadn't had any of those either. But it definitely helped. I remember there was a machine where you hold the handles with each arm and raise it up. Normally, I would get maybe 7 or 8, but with the caffeine, I was getting 12 or 13, and I was doing it faster as well, a couple seconds away from flying fast. A couple days after this experience, I got a slight but noticeable feeling that I needed caffeine in my body, and when I gave into this feeling, I went straight into level 3. Level 3. Sometimes, when you're tired, things start to change at level 3, because from here on up, you're actively trying to get caffeine in your system. So let's say you wake up, you don't get much sleep, and you have a whole day of school or work in front of you, so you make yourself a coffee or grab an energy drink to stay awake. One time I had a 2,000-word essay about the Civil War due the next day, and all I'd done was typed the title, and I didn't really pay attention in class, so I had no clue what the war was about. The only thing that came to mind was that Marvel movie, so I drank a coffee to help stay awake to finish the essay. Level 4. Most days you feel tired a lot of the time and you just can't get good sleep. So at level 4, you take caffeine on most days. Maybe you get coffee with your friends or co-workers before school or work. But something that caffeine users start to deal with from level 4 is a thing called tolerance. If you search it up, it goes on about enzymes and metabolizing and all this mumbo-jumbo. Let me keep it simple and give you the spark notes in a sentence. It can be summed up as, it doesn't hit the same anymore. Remember the first time you had caffeine? It was crazy. You were wired, energetic, and just felt awake. But after taking caffeine for some time, you need to double the dose to feel anything now before it took 1 coffee. And now you need to level 5 every day. At level 5, it's now become a habit. It's routine. It's the norm, just like brushing your teeth or checking your messages. Drinking your coffee or an energy drink on the daily is something you don't think twice about, and you tell yourself you can quit tomorrow if you want to. But are you really going to? Level 6. Multiple times daily, every day. So at level 6, just once a day doesn't cut it. The FDA reckons up to 400 milligrams a day for healthy adults is safe. That's around 2.5 Monsters or 5 Red Bulls or 1.5 Starbucks coffees or 40 milk chocolate bars. So it's pretty easy to reach. So at this stage, it's safe to say you have a dependence on caffeine, meaning you can't do your daily tasks anymore. And when you try to reduce your dose or quit, you go through caffeine withdrawal, so you just end up taking more, leading to the final level, level 7, caffeine machine. At level 7, you're taking stupid amounts of caffeine. I'm talking dry scooping pre-workout, washed down with Monster Energy, and a triple shot coffee for a palate cleanser. At this level, you feel like you cannot function without caffeine. You try to take decaf coffee and take a few days off, but you just can't quit. On the days you don't take caffeine, you feel like you're slowly morphing into a sloth. So we just accept that we're addicted to caffeine, because the thing about caffeine is, if you take less, you don't feel as good because of dependence. If you keep taking the same amount, you don't feel good because of tolerance. And if you take more, especially at level 7, it will start to cause health problems. That is a never-ending cycle of caffeine addiction. Subscribe to me, and you can watch more interesting videos.